Good afternoon, everyone. How is your Saturday so far? So right now I'm at Haltom City to do some laundry. What was it on Wednesday? It rained really bad here in the DFW area, and oh dear Lord, there was so much clothing that got wet on that I was wearing, plus whatever I was wearing, like my backup clothes, got soaking wet. So I'm taking them out to get washed, and that's pretty much it. Today I am not doing anything. Like I want to do something, but I don't know if I'm in the mood of doing anything or going out. Just go to church and then maybe come back home. But then even that, I'm like I need to get out. I need to breathe some fresh air. So I'm here to discuss about the passing of Hugh Hefner, and he now for people who don't know, he founded and created the Playboy franchise, and kind of left his legacy of this kind of Playboy type of this fancy rich boy, rich kid lifestyle, and with surrounded with beautiful women. And I'm just here to discuss about my experience with Playboy. For me, when I was very young, about maybe 5 or 6 years old, I had a thing for reading. I loved reading a lot, and there was a time that my dad would still collect Playboy magazines, and so he will leave them on top of this furniture, this kind of a shelves, way up, way high, and he would always have books lying around there, and I'm like, yeah, I wasn't really much into reading, but I would always skim through it, and unless there's something that I knew how to read and know exactly what it meant, I would go, enjoy it. But yeah, so like I said, I was grabbing some magazines from up there, and I took a look at it. I didn't know what it was until I started turning the pages of this, naked women here and there, from different colors, different origins. So I kept on browsing through them, and I was like, so. And for me as a boy, I mean, I knew what I had. So then when I was looking at this magazine, I was like, why is this so big, and why don't they have what I have? So I was starting to learn a little bit more of the female anatomy, and after that, I kind of took a long break from Playboy. Of course, I didn't know what it was. That's the thing, and I didn't know what it was until like much later on, which I think in elementary school, I think in the 5th grade when I was in California, Denker Elementary, I was, they would bring out these magazines, all the kids, especially the boys, would open up these magazines, because the thing is that if you were caught with these magazines at school, I mean, it's not too extreme to suspend them or expel them, so the teacher would grab them and then throw it away. In which, once the kids found out what's in the trash and the recycling bin, they go get it, and then they say that, oh cool, nudie pictures. So it kind of rekindled, it kind of heat up again. But yeah, I think for me, once I was very familiar with Playboy TV. I mean, it's still on. I mean, it's still going on, still around. But for me, it was tricky to watch it because my parents were super conservative, and even more with my sister around. So it was tricky. before my sister, my dad was like, oh, they're boys. Boys will be boys. Let them, experience this, the anatomy of the woman. It's only natural. But then once my sister was born, he was like, okay, we need to kind of lock this up, or we gotta put this somewhere around or something. We can't be just lying it around. So I started watching Playboy TV when my parents would go out for the weekend or going out for the gym. They used to be YMCA members, and for me, I would come back early from football practice on the Saturdays. We would just jog around and watch whatever we reviewed from the game, and I had like maybe an hour or 2 hours downtime, so I would watch Playboy TV, and I it was very enjoyable. I enjoyed a lot of watching how the body is and how it interacts with another one. Of course, this was a, how should I call it, softcore porn version. It wasn't like you get to see everything. That won't be until like maybe in gosh, what was it? I think once Spice Channel was created or founded or available is when I saw a little bit more than I wasn't supposed to watch. And then when the kids from school brought up their Jugs magazine or Hustler and Swank and so on, I get to see a little bit more than I'm supposed to. And I'm like, oh my god, so that's how it looks like. Oh wow. It was more of detailed female anatomy 101. Or female biology. So it was curious, and it was it was a very curious adventure. And my first Playboy magazine that I bought was Voluptuous Vixens. I have a thing for medium and large-breasted women, top-heavy women. So I bought it, and I looked at it, and the front cover was Veronica Zebanova, a Czech model. And I started looking at her, and then I was looking at the other ones, and so on. And then I started buying other magazines of vixens, and then I started buying other celebrity ones, the kind of like the celebrities types, because like the wrestling back in the day, WWF used to have their divas, pose for Playboy, and China was there when I saw it. It was a little bit curious for me to look at the nude body, the nude form or figure of China, because since she was so muscular at that time, it was really hard to say, like, well, I mean, does she have a penis? So I didn't know. So a friend of mine let me borrow it, and I took a look at it, and I saw that the full body of China, and she wasn't that bad as I thought it was. We're just so used to having that slender, semi-athletic figure of women. They could be, soccer players, volleyball players, basketball players. They could still be athletically fit, but not as to say like body fitness type of physique. Like She-Hulk type, and that's what China was. She was more of the She-Hulk type. So I it wasn't that bad, nor wasn't that like, it wasn't, like I say, it wasn't that bad. I was like, oh my god, what the hell? I mean, it's just that she had a figure, but her curves and lines were different compared from what I'm used to. So then later on, I saw one with Sable, and one with Christy Hemme when she did it for online. I also saw one of Vida Guerra I had such a huge crush for her in the early 2000s. Who else? Tori Wilson was there too. When I saw Olivia Munn being on the front cover of Playboy, I thought that, hey, I get to see her naked. I've always wanted to see her naked because she is the type of girl that I think I would relate to a lot more because, she's a gamer, she's a cosplayer, she's a really geeky girl, and that's what I like. Because I'm basically the same thing. I'm a cosplayer. I'm into, comics. I'm a geeky guy in a way. Not too much, but I could be like, hey, Star Wars. I'm like, yeah, what's up? So yeah, I was really eager to see her, but in the end, she didn't pose for Playboy. Well, she didn't pose nude, so that was a downer. But thank God for Magic Mike because I get to see her topless. So thank God. So yeah, it was a very enjoyable experience with Playboy. I don't regret it because it was a Playboy is basically like the building blocks of enjoying this fancy lifestyle and to be around with beautiful women. That's the thing, because sometimes for guys, they say, hey, I got one girl, but in the end, hey, I want to be surrounded with beautiful women here and there. I feel like Bruce Wayne, so to speak. I mean, I'm not sure if Bob Kane took some inspiration from Hugh Hefner's Playboy type of lifestyle and put it for this character Bruce Wayne, because he's also a billionaire, playboy, likes to be around with beautiful women. So it could be that. I might be wrong, but I mean, if you got something to add or say, leave it on the comments below. I'd like to hear or read what you have to say. But when I was watching Vice News tonight, they were discussing about the passing of Hugh Hefner and the authors who were working with him when he was still around. And they did say something really interesting. I can't remember who was the guy, but it was a male author, sorry. And he discussed that, when you're looking at this Playboy magazine and you see all these beautiful women here and there, in a way, when you're seeing this and you're aroused to be with this woman, those, say, 30 seconds to a minute, 2 minutes, whatever, however long your stamina is. The thing is that for those matter of moments, she is your girl. You could do whatever you want with her. You want to do it here, you want over there. You want to imagine that she's doing this position or that position or all that. The thing is that this woman is placed nude for your personal entertainment. Because if you do it in real life, you're going to get in trouble unless you ask or if she wants to. See, that's the thing. But for that moment, through her being in that position, nude and so on, it puts into an imagination that it is you and that woman in that moment. At the privacy of your luxury, at your own home, preferred, you get to enjoy that woman as long as you want. And if you're tired with her, hey, you flip the other page and there's another attractive woman there, and then you go do your thing. So it did give you that really naughty fantasy of the reader and the portrait. Now, of course, eventually when you want to look at something else a bit more, how should I say, detailed, then you go look for the other stuff. But in the end, it was to give you that mental fantasy. So that, hey, you're married, you have kids, you have a girlfriend, boyfriend, whoever, that guess what? For that timetable that you have with this person, that you're single for that moment, and then you would go at it. So, that's what I that's my opinion of Hugh Hefner's Playboy career. It's been a really long time since I haven't bought Playboy magazine. I used to buy it once I was in once it was still when magazines was still like a hot thing, you know. But now with everything with the internet, and you don't have to buy it directly. You could just watch it on the internet or Google it, and then all that is taken care of for free. So it's been a really long time since I bought a Playboy magazine. I think I still have some in my storage, but I look at it and I'm thinking to myself, like, hey, I used to remember. I used to think about her, and then think about her, and so on. It's a really interesting nostalgic moment, but in the end, I'm taking a look at this as fantasy. And then once I close that magazine, I have to move on to reality. There's no escape to reality. So, that's what it was. The magazines. And like I said, I enjoyed them a lot. I'm not gonna get rid of them. That they're my little treasures, so to speak. And yeah, my my favorite playmate would have to be Miriam Gonzalez. She was March 2001. That was the same month. That was my birth month of my senior year in high school. And when I took a look at her, I'm like, holy crap, she's beautiful. Even though she's enhanced, I mean, she still was a very attractive woman. And so, yeah, I mean, I'm not ashamed at all of what I've watched or what I looked on. It was a very enjoyable moment, experience, and if I had to go back, I would do it again, because it was a very interesting experience. And if it wasn't for Playboy, I don't think male entertainment, especially for magazines, would be that great, because if it wasn't for Playboy. So like I said, he really opened the doors for the male entertainment when it comes to magazines, and then with celebrities and playmates and all that. So, thank you, Hugh, for giving us that bit of entertainment and that type of lifestyle that I think many people would love to experience and enjoy. For me, I'm a really down-to-earth guy. I mean, I see all this good stuff here and there, but in the end, I don't see myself riding a $25,000 motorcycle or a $500,000 car and, incredibly authentic leather jackets at all. I'm a really simple guy. I'm driving a car that's over 220,000 miles, and I like the car. It takes me to point A to point B. I don't know. I mean, it's nice to look at, but to actually have it, I don't know. For me, I'm a really simple guy. Like, some people collect watches and stuff like that. For me, I collect video game figures, video game collectibles. Like, you guys saw the one with Pandora's box. Even though it doesn't mean much for many, for me as a gamer, I love God of War, and I do like its little casing. It's one of those things that I like. For some people they don't, but for some other they love it. So, that to me, that's my little Playboy, experience. All right, that pretty much wraps up for today's YouTube clip of remembering Hugh Hefner. And once again, thank you, Hugh, for everything. I truly appreciate what you offered, and it's a shame I never had a chance to meet you in person, but I hope in some shape or form and some other time I would love to meet you. Alright, guys, enjoy your day. Enjoy this last day of September, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.